This is the retest review. We're at question number 6. Question number 6, for the function y equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 7, what is the axis of symmetry? The class, I want you to identify that this is in standard form. So because this is in standard form, we're going to find the axis of symmetry with the formula negative b over 2a. Actually, it's x equals negative b over 2a, because our axis of symmetry will always be x equals, so please do not forget that in your answer. All we need to do now is identify a, b, and c. Looks like a is equal to negative 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 7. So negative b is the opposite of b, so b is 2. That will change it to negative 2. And then we've got 2 times a, which is negative 1. Negative 2, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And if you need to put that in your calculator, go ahead. Negative 2 over negative 2 is just positive 1. So our axis of symmetry is x equal 1. Excuse me. Let's continue with question number 7 for the function. This function here, what is the axis of symmetry? Again, I want you to recognize this is standard form. Negative b over 2a only works in standard form. So because it's standard form, this makes this problem fairly simple. Just identify a, b, and c. Make sure I have the signs right. Positive 2, positive 8, negative 3. And then I can go ahead and write my formula. X is going to be equal to negative b over 2a. Since b is 8, it's going to change signs to negative 8. And then on the denominator we have 2 times a, which is 2 times 2. That is negative 8 times 4. I'm sorry, negative 8 divided by 4. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. Again, it's axis of symmetry. It always starts with x equals. And our value for our axis of symmetry is negative 2. Alright, these should be easy problems, but students will make mistakes because of just being careless, because they look easy, and so you end up not being very careful with these. I'm going to go through a process with you on these that I do in class. Now let's take a look at the GCF for this equation. We're going to start with the smallest coefficient, which is 4. Okay, let's take a look. Does 4 go into 12? Yes, it does, 3 times. Does 4 go into 6? It does not. Let's try 3. 3 does not go into 4. That's out. Let's try 2. 2 goes into 4. 2 goes into 12. 2 goes into 6. We just found our GCF. Let's see if we have a common variable. There's an x here. There's an x here. There's not an x here. That's out. So our GCF must be 2. Next one, what is the GCF here? Alright, let's find our smallest coefficient, which is 2. Don't worry about the negative signs. Okay, so our smallest coefficient is 2. 2 goes into 8. 2 goes into 4. That is good, so that means our GCF is 2. Let's see if we have a common variable. X here, yes. There's an x here, yes. There's no x here. That means we don't have a common variable. And our GCF is 2. Now, if you wrote negative 2 here because the a value is negative, I'd be okay with that. But technically, the GCF is just the positive value of the coefficients. You'd put a negative when you're factoring, when you're pulling out a GCF, not because it's the GCF, but because the a value is negative, so you'd make it negative. So I would accept negative 2 on this one as well. Number 10, what is the GCF of this equation? Alright, what is the smallest coefficient? It's 10. So I'm going to start with 10. Does 10 go into 15? No. How about 9? 9 does not go into 10. 8 does not go into 10. 7 does not go into 10. 6 does not go into 10. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 5 goes into 15 3 times. That means we have a GCF of 5. Let's take a look at our variable. There's an x value in the first term and an x value in the second term. That means x is also part of our GCF. Alright, what is the GCF of this equation? Well, our smallest coefficient is right here. You don't have it written, but it is 1. If it's 1, class, you're done. 1 and done. So you can't go any lower than 1, and 1 goes into everything. So 1 is our least GCF that we can have. And then let's take a look. Do we have a common variable? Yes, we do. There's an x in the first term, there's an x in the second term, and therefore our GCF is 1x. You could also write this just as x if you wanted to. And then number 12, convert this equation. This is an intercept form quadratic. Convert it to standard form by distributing. Most of you have gotten pretty good at this. Let's go ahead and rewrite. I know I'm going to convert it to standard form. I know I'm going to write it as an equation. So let's write y equal there so we're done. Alright, this is 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 10. Here's the biggest mistake I'm seeing made. When students are distributing the 2, they're forgetting it has to go to the first term and the second term, both of those. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Again, that's the number one mistake being made here. Now we can bring down the other binomial, and let's just go through our process of multiplying two binomials. Take the 2x and put it together with the second binomial, and then take the second part of the first binomial, negative 6, and put it with the second binomial. Now we can just distribute. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 10 is 20x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And negative 6 times 10 is negative 60. Remember, class, we always have the middle two terms are like terms. We can combine those together. 2x, and then we've got 20 minus 6 is positive 14. Our second mistake that's normally made, class, is getting the wrong sign here. Hey, don't take a chance. Put it in your calculator. 20 minus 6 equals positive 14. And then we've got a negative 60 on the end. That looks good. Let's write our final standard form. 2x squared plus 14x minus 60. We'll pick up question number 13 on the next video.